Hi, I'm Paris, and it's peak gardening season right now, which means our hose in the backyard, hose out in the front yard are getting daily use. Very important time to have a reliable hose. Now, the expandable, contractible hoses have had a sort of checkered reputation over the past few years, but an inventor in Israel got in touch with me a few months back and said he had figured out what they've been doing wrong, designed his own hose that isn't going to have those problems. It is the Commando Hose, and for the first time ever out in the yard, I'm going commando.
Epic review, guys.
You may be asking yourself, well, where is the hose? The Commando Hose includes this drawstring bag because, as the other hose companies tell you but don't provide you with, you should keep this out of the elements when you're not using it. So they give you the bag to put the hose right back into. Now this hose is the 50-foot model, and as you can see, when it's not full of water, it doesn't really take up a whole lot of space. This goes for about $65 right now on Amazon. A little more pricey than the other expandable contractible hoses, but if this one lasts, it should be worth the money. Included in the instruction sheet that comes with the hose, it does say to use the provided washers in there so you don't get leaks. To, when you turn it on the first time, turn the little knob so this is off. Let it fill up with water and stretch out completely once in case there are any kinks in it, I guess, so in the future it will work smoothly. Also, this hose is not intended for drinking water and it's not intended for hot water. Now, if you tried out the pocket hose or one of the other expandable contractible hoses or one of the new generations that they release each year, you may have seen that they actually are making improvements to them. They, like this hose, now have brass on the ends rather than plastic. That has helped some. They've changed the webbing that's on the outside of the rubber hose that's inside to reduce the effect of UV causing damage to it and so forth. So they've improved, but the inventor of this hose says they're still going to continue to have basically the same problem because of the rubber hose that's inside of their hoses, which is latexy kind of rubber and is always going to be prone to popping, isn't going to work too well with the high pressure, and when you drag it across the driveway to water somewhere else, you're going to get holes in it. That'll be the end of your hose. There's a different type of hose in here, he tells me, that is much stronger than the ones you'll find in those other hoses, and that's going to take care of once and for all the problems people have been having with expandable contractible hoses. I'm anxious to see what the Commando Hose can do. Time to take it out in the backyard and test it out. Here in the backyard I have the Clear Flow hose. That's this clear hose that's currently hooked up to the faucet. Next to that is the new Commando Hose. Running right along here. This is going to stretch out to be 50 feet long. Next to that is the pocket hose. I think it's last year's pocket hose when they added the brass. And it also stretches out to 50 feet. As you can see, it is a little longer than the Commando Hose right now, probably because it's been stretched out and used. Going to hook up the Commando Hose here to my faucet. By the way, this very end portion here does swivel independently. Okay, seems to be on snug. At the other end, I've attached this sprayer nozzle and I've turned this to off. I will turn on the water slowly and see what happens. Got our expansion going on. You can see at the very end there, it looks like it's fully expanded. This does look a little different than the other hoses when it expands. Whoa! Looks like it's stretched all the way out. Let's see if it reaches to the fence, because that's about 50 feet. It actually comes in at a little over 50 feet as it stretches along here and is actually long enough to go just past the wall. I'm going to open this valve now. And squeeze. That's a pretty good amount of water. A lot of pressure. And if we're going for distance, set it on full. A lot of water going through the hose. Pretty good. This is something I noticed with last year's pocket hose. They put this plastic sleeve near the brass fitting, so if the hose gets pulled away from the wall in the faucet, there won't be too much tension put sideways to the hose. On this, the Commando hose, they have something similar. It's this rubber piece right here. It looks like this little rubber skirt. Let's try it out with the end of the hose wide open, so there won't be any pressure buildup here. Oh, we still got some expansion going on in the hose. Let's see if I can get it before it jumps up and sprays me. It's actually still expanding, which is interesting. I don't usually see that with the hoses. If the end isn't with the valve turned or with a nozzle on it, usually doesn't expand out very much. So even with the pressure being wide open, there's still enough back pressure in the hose to extend it out to pretty near 50 feet, even without a nozzle on the end. That's really interesting. It's the first time I've seen a hose that does that. And let's see how quickly this hose will contract up. I've turned off the water pressure at the faucet. I'll open this up and let the water come out as fast as it can. Hopefully not on me. Whoa! Okay then. That's the grass grabbing onto it. That wasn't bad. 10-15 seconds to contract up about to the extent it's going to. When you're ready to put them away, it helps to make sure they're completely drained, especially if you're just going to bring them in the house. Or in the case of the Commando hose, put them into the included drawstring bag. See if I can do this with one hand. Then it is ready till the next time you need to use it. So how did the Commando hose do? How does it compare to other expandable, contractible hoses? I like this. It's different than the other hoses in how the rubber hose inside of this seems to expand and contract. I've never seen one of these hoses expand out to full length without the end of the hose having the water stopped, with the water flowing through it. This one's still extended out. So I think there's some different properties to the internal rubber hosing of this. So that gives me hope that the Commando hose will be less prone to popping and to leaking. Again, this 50-foot model goes for about $65, and I have a link to it down below this video. The 25-foot version of this is about $20 less. I think that's $44. And if it will last several seasons, that might not be a bad price. I will be following up later in the summer with the Commando hose, with the new version of the X hose. I still have to buy the new for 2016 pocket hose with some new added feature, and also my clear flow hose, which I really like because the water going through that is safe to drink if you don't mind the kind of green, orangey, moldy stuff there. But I don't feel concerned about putting that on the vegetables. I don't know about watering a vegetable garden with the water from this hose all season and then eating those vegetables, but for a lawn, for a flower garden, this should be fine. I have one more hose to review this spring, and then probably about the end of summer, I'll do a follow-up with all the different hoses, see which ones are still working, see what might be the new features coming out in 2017. You can keep checking back for that video, or you can click that subscribe button down below. You'll get notified when our videos go up. See you on the next review.
Shopping is easy when you know what to buy at EpicReviewGuys.